Well, hello everyone, Texie88 here and welcome to another retro gaming review. And for this one I'm bringing you US Gold's ZX Spectrum port of Thunderblade. This came out in 1988 and it came out for the 48K and 128K ZX Spectrum, and I'm reviewing the latter version in this instance. Now what makes Thunderblade different is that it starts off viewed from above and then switches to viewed from behind, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to get far enough so I can show you the viewed from behind section, and it'll be interesting to see how the game copes with that. So keyboard, I'll take it to the sky. Oh, that's a good start. Got shot already. Well, it moves at quite a rate. I'm quite impressed with how fast it moves. Oh. A little bit on the jerky side, but considering how much the Spectrum's having to cope with, at least it's not absolutely crawling. Ah! Oh. Why is there a building in the middle of the road? Nice explosion. Oh, damn it, I crashed into the building. I really like... There we go. Oh, strangely enough, this bit's actually a little bit choppier than viewed from above. Strangely, it almost feels like a completely different game. Oh, damn it. Let's give that another whirl. Oh, god darn it. So you get a little moment of invulnerability when you despawn. Take note, fire and forget. That's what you should have done, so you couldn't be killed within seconds. Oh gosh. This is really quite challenging, but it's actually kind of fun. Monochrome, but given the Spectrum's attribute problem, that was only to be expected. Yeah, I'm really. Oh, even though it's monochrome, I still can see enemies and I can still see the shots. So it's not a case of not being able to see what's going on. Well, I'm certainly not having any real problems seeing what's going on. Move. Thank you. Oh no! Damn it! Oh damn! I pressed the wrong button. Even though I'm not actually able to just type in my name, for some reason when it's laid out a bit better than this, somehow it's more bearable because when it's just a plain old thing like you quite often get, it does seem a bit annoying. But when they make something out of it, like in this and Commando, somehow it doesn't seem quite so painful. That is a really good Spectrum sound effect for the helicopter blades. Oh gosh. But don't get me wrong though, this is actually quite a challenging title. Ah! Oh, I thought that was me. Frame rate drops a little when there's a lot on the screen, which is a bit unfortunate, but it's still not overly unbearable. Oh, frame rate's dropping quite a bit there. Strangely enough, it seems to struggle more with the view from behind than being viewed from above. Oh, come on. Oh, good. Get up, get up, get up. I presume this is some kind of boss. Strangely enough, again, despite the monochrome, I'm not struggling to see things. I can clearly see those shots even though this is in monochrome. Oh. Because as I said when I was reviewing Gemini Wing and to a certain extent Dragon Spirit, one thing I pointed out was because quite a lot of vertically scrolling shoot 'em ups on the Spectrum in monochrome to get around its attribute issues, it can quite often cause backgrounds to interfere with the sprites and make it hard to see what's happening. Ah. The way you accelerate is the way you accelerate is that you press you hold down the fire button while pressing up, which on the keyboard controls is Q. It's got the usual QAOP. Damn it! And you slow down by pressing A and accelerate. This does unfortunately mean you can't fire and accelerate or brake. Oh, poo sticks. And another thing to point out is that you're actually slow. You actually descend by pressing. You descend by pressing Q and ascend by pressing A. So, as is typical of when you're controlling aircraft, up is down and down is up. So, which is actually the norm for controls when you're controlling aircraft. So that again isn't too much of an issue. Oh gosh. Strangely enough, even though this is quite a challenging game, I'm actually quite enjoying it. mean, yeah, it has some notable frame rate issues, but by and large, I'm still quite enjoying it. Oh, he says, and then gets shot down, and I'm really impressed with the sound. Oh, damn it. There must have been a shot from that tank. It is annoying that when you're viewed from above, you can get shot by an enemy that's just off screen. I get the feeling that's what happened just then. Ah, well, I saw no, that was that tank that shot me that time. I want to get to that aircraft carrier thingy again. I'm going to get to that aircraft carrier again. I've got virtually no life left. Oh, damn it! I couldn't avoid that. I would have crashed into the buildings. Nice detail on the tanks as you get close to them, though. Oh, God, let me know, they're absolutely pummeling me with fire. Oh, well, that'll do me. So that's Thunderblade for the ZX Spectrum. As I said, I was reviewing the 128K version there, but it was available in 48K, although I believe that particular version multi-loads. So graphics, they're actually quite impressive considering the limitations of the Spectrum. Monochrome, save for the surrounding decorative edges like the top there. But when you got a game doing what this game does, there was just no way they could have realistically put in colour and not had severe amounts of attribute clash, and that would have actually made it really hard to see what was going on. So keeping it monochrome was definitely a good call in that regard. But as I said, despite the monochrome graphics, I never at any point felt that I couldn't see what was going on. Even when I was on that aircraft carrier, the shots from the enemies were so big and solid that they didn't blend in with complex backgrounds. That again is actually quite good design, and that just goes to show how important game design can be, even when you're converting existing material from an existing source, which in this case was the original arcade version. While you have to try and be as faithful to the original as possible, sometimes you have to make concessions like that, and I certainly don't mind that happening if it makes the game more playable. Well, admittedly, changes, they have to get permission from the rights holders to be able to do that. As I said, but because of that, it meant I could see what was going on pretty much all the time. It was only really when there were lots and lots and lots of things shooting at me that things got a bit confused. But then judging by footage I'd seen prior, when researching prior to doing this review, it seems like that could get quite intense even in the original arcade version. So I can't really knock it for that. Sound, well, you've got this music on the menu and the type screen high score table and so forth, and as you heard, it had a very good sound for the helicopter rotor blades, and there's some nice explosion sound effects as well, and so yeah, I'm really impressed with the sound in this as well. Gameplay, well, as you saw there, when the screen got really busy, particularly on the viewed from behind sections, there was a quite discernible frame rate drop, which is a bit of a shame. But by and large, the game was quite playable, although The only thing that with the controls is that it's very easy to forget that you can't fire whilst accelerating and decelerating, and that is an unfortunate aspect of playing the game on a system in which which only catered for one button joysticks. So that I guess there wasn't really any other way of being able to do slowing down and speeding up apart from having yet another key or two to press, and that would have been a particular problem on joysticks, especially if joystick didn't have a trigger fire button, because that would have meant you would have had to have taken a hand off the joystick in order to press a key on the keyboard to accelerate or decelerate, which would have meant you wouldn't have been able to fire anyway. But even though it has the odd frame rate issue here and there, I still didn't find it I didn't find it spoilt the game too much, and I didn't feel like I lost control of the helicopter whilst it was having those little moments. And I could clearly see the enemies, and once you get an idea of where your helicopter's rockets land, you can get a pretty good idea of whether or not you're about to hit something that you're firing at. So yeah, I think I'm going to give Thunderblade on the Spectrum 7 out of 10. It's not the greatest shoot 'em up in the world. It does have some issues, not like that slight control issue with not being able to shoot whilst you're accelerating or braking, and the fact that the frame rate dips a little when the screen gets busy, particularly on the bits where it's viewed from behind, and that you can fairly easily get shot down in the viewed from above sections by an enemy that's just off screen, and because of that, the shots seem to come in quite quickly, and you have very little time to avoid them. So it's not the greatest shooter in the world, but it's far from the worst, and this is all in all, it's a pretty good port. So 7 out of 10 for the Spectrum version of Thunderblade. One of the few times in the later stages of US Gold that they put out at least reasonably commendable product. So hope you enjoyed that review. Catch you on another one soon. Texie88 out.